Welcome.
You totally peeked out and nobody can hear a
Shut up.
fucking thing. Oh, were you doing that on purpose?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm like, yo, you
Okay,
just
let's redo
depped the
this
shit out of
one.
yourself.
I'm not doing that. Never mind. Do you want to just redo this one?
I'm recording the video, so the idiots are seeing you already.
Oh, fuck. All right. I'll just redo the intro. Ready?
Good job hosting for the first time.
Welcome, challengers, to Battleground of the Gods, a Smite podcast. I'm your host this week, Riggs. And with me, it's just a two man wrecking crew this week. It's Fro Double G.
What's up, everybody? How you doing today?
This is my first hosting gig. I didn't realize I was hosting until about 2 seconds ago. So
Yeah, that's about it. About all the warning I gave him. I'm like, yo, you're hosting. He's like, why am I hosting? I'm like, I suck at it. Continue.
yeah, then I tried doing like a Bruce Buffer style, like, introduction to like a fight, but I fucked that up. So we'll see.
Peaked
Yeah, it's
like
just
a motherfucker.
yeah, definitely peaked. Definitely did not execute the Bruce Buffer, to his standards. I let him down. Sorry, Bruce. But yeah, it's just me and you this week. So want to just get right into it. I know
Yeah.
we before we started, we said we don't have a lot of Smite to talk about. So just a fair warning, this might be a very off-topic style episode. So yeah, how are your games this week?
Now, once again, it always is a bit of a skewed thing when I say I haven't played a lot of Smite, especially when I have a day where I stream Smite every day. So I still have like at least, what is it, like 8-10 games or some shit I played this week. So I have played. It's just, usually I don't like to talk about my boring games or my average games. I like to pick out more notable things, right? It's not worth talking about. I don't really like talking about it. Fortunately, I don't really have many notable things, like moments, but I have picked up a few key things. Hunters are still fun. They're pretty strong, so if you like playing ADC, go pew pew, because it works. Ranged mages, like Thoth and Vulcan, I've been having a little bit of success on. Like, if I can keep the distance, mages still crank out damage. I've still been enjoying them. But I'm really wanting to play frontline. And Khepri and Geb have been like my saving grace. Khepri, obviously with his ult, you can be like, okay, cool, you're killing everybody, but at least I can save this dude and, force them to take me out instead of someone else. So I still feel like I can at least have an impact that way and force them to target me for a little bit. Geb, his non-crit passive is pretty nice. Crit is still pretty strong. I mean, I wouldn't say it's
Very,
the
very
dominant
strong.
right now, right? Because isn't it still... It in the, like, Kin's Silver Branch are, like, pretty
Well, you
close right
go
now.
Kin Silver Branch as well as crit in the build.
Is that what it is?
It's
Okay.
you buy everything basically. You get Kin, Silver Branch, Wind Demon, and Venom Deathbringer, and then whatever two other items you want at that point. Usually
Yeah,
it's like
I've just... Okay.
Devos or something, but
I've just seen more like the Kin Silver Branch and, like, Devos being built, and honestly, by 4th, 5th item, game's done anyway, so... Games go
that's fair,
longer, yeah, really. Granted, I have been playing Assault too, so that does change it a little bit. So yeah, Geb's kind of been helpful in that aspect. But besides that, no, I haven't really been playing a bunch of Smite. I will announce this right now. We did buy the hosts Blood Bowl 2 for Steam. If any of you guys are wanting to play, especially the patrons, let us know. We'll play with you. We are going to be setting up a Blood Bowl league for the patrons. Most likely, we still are waiting to get some responses on that, although we've had quite a few people already in with a few of us hosts. Most likely it will be happening. It's a pretty fun game. If you guys haven't played it at all, it's like Madden meets Warhammer meets NHL Hits or NHL Blitz from like
Yeah, I was gonna
what
say,
is it,
did you ever play
2002?
Blitz, the
Yeah,
NFL Blitz game?
yeah. I was trying to
That's what
describe
it
that to
reminds me
someone
of.
yesterday, and they're like, "No, I haven't played it." I'm like, "Dude, if you haven't played that game, this is gonna be like a far flung concept, that or Street, NFL Street." But like, if you've played either of those, I kind of combined them. Like, it's not your standard football. I'm fucking playing it. All right, that should convince you all. Fro's playing it, and I'm the one being like, "Yo, play this game. It's fun."
Yeah.
Not that I hate football, but y'all just know not my thing. So it's rather enjoyable. The other thing is,
it's like turn-based NFL Blitz
yeah, like honestly, it's very
with like fantasy characters. So it's like elves and orcs and shit playing NFL Blitz.
yeah. They're all straight from the Warhammer world. Like all that stuff is from Warhammer's lore and all that. But it's like arcade style, and it's very fun. It's very fun. The other thing, Depp and Fro, and Nev occasionally, but Depp and Fro especially, have been sailing the seven seas. And first off, Riggs, I trained you for this, so I gotta ask you, which is your favorite of the seven seas?
The kind where you see these nuts.
All right, no, this just wasn't good. The answer's supposed to be the pussy. But anyways,
I just wanted to hear you say it.
I mean, the pussy. Like,
Yeah. I don't know. Where did you see it laugh?
it was low hanging fruit. I saw it on TikTok, honestly. The shit cracked me up because I'm like, I've been playing that so much lately. But Deb and I have been killing it, literally. And sorry to bring up Sea of Thieves again for like the third week in a row, but my games have been fun, not notable. This was notable and fun. Depp and Fro hop into a sloop and we're like, hey, we're gonna fuck some people up, right? We're like, we're just gonna go. We found we had already went and did some missions, got all of our loot turned in, so we had nothing on the ship of value except for a shit ton of cannonballs, a shit ton of wood, and a shit ton of food. So we're like, fuck, we're ready for war. So we went and we looking for a ship, and we found one, and it was either a brig, which is the 2 to 3 man ship, or a galleon, which is the 3 to 4 man ship. We saw one of the two at first, and we're like, all right, cool, let's go. Right there, we're on them. So we're sailing towards them, and all of a sudden, the other one shows up, brig or galleon, whatever it is. So now the point is, these brig and galleon are beginning to shoot at each other as we're like, yeah, boy, we're gonna go fucking surprise them. I have a gunpowder barrel. We're sailing up to the motherfuckers. I hop up in the water with the gunpowder. I'm going underwater. Drop it off at the front of the one ship. Just boom, announce our presence, if you will. Hop on the ship, kill a couple people. I get killed. Anyways, we're sailing around, and it's like a free-for-all at first, right? And it's a struggle for us because they got so many people, and it takes a lot of shots to take their ships down, right? And I eventually boarded the galleon again, and they had a boarder hop on our ship, and we took him out, but then I ended up boarding their ship and like just causing chaos, killing some of them as Depp was basically giving Depp a moment to take off and repair. And I hear one of them be like, why are you even here? Go away, or some shit like that. And I'm like, Depp, they don't want to fight. The galleon doesn't want to fight. That means we just need to kill the brig, right? So then Depp and I change of plans because we were kind of focusing on the galleon. Usually it's the bigger threat. And at this point,
it's the big ship and all that.
Yeah, and at this point, or right before that too, the galleon and the brig have stopped fighting each other. So it went from a sloop versus brig versus galleon, and they teamed up and started fighting just us because we were whooping their ass. So now it's one sloop, just Depp and I, against this 3-man on a brig and a 4-man on the fucking galleon, right? And we're like, all right, cool. We know the galleon doesn't really want to fight, so we'll kind of like less prioritize them. And we're like, this fucking brig, though, they're going down. And we start hammering this brig and eventually sink them. We're like, all right, cool. We get drive by after they sink, grab some supplies because we're getting a little low on cannon shots. I mean, we still had like 60, but, we still wanted to make sure we have some. And dude, we end up fucking just we're going past this the galleon, and I'm like, hold up, they still have like 3 holes on the front of their ship, and we haven't been shooting them for a minute. Like, I think they might be out of wood. And then Dep's like, yeah, and I'm like, and then they shoot us, right? But out of their cannons, they instead of shooting a cannonball, they shoot the fire bombs, and I'm like, hold up, they just had a chance to complete broadside us, and they shot us with fire bombs. Like, Dep, they're out of cannonballs, dude. Let's fucking go, boy. So we fucking just start hammering on these dudes like they begin to actually like try to flee. And we're like, no, 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 no. And we're just fucking annihilating them. Eventually take them out, right? There was a few of them floating in the water, and they just wouldn't die. And I kept popping in the water, going in to like damage them a little bit. I'm like, hey, they got to be low on food as well. And the longer you're in the water, the more sharks that show up. At one point, Depp said there was like 2 or 3 sharks that were like so aggressive they just killed Depp when he finally hopped in the water. So we're like, all right, yeah, these guys are gone. So we just went and picked up all their loot. And we got almost all of their loot, and they just got a few ghost skulls left in the shit, floating in the water. And then I hear Depp as he's in the water grabbing this shit, and I'm on the ship. He's like, sails down, here they are, go, 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 go. And I like turn, and on my camera, like right behind, I guess like this, like, and it was like, oh shit. And I like run to the sails, drop the sails. They damn near actually run into us. And I'm like, I'm going, Depp. Fucking, we loop around. And their ship is the fastest with the wind. Our ship is the fastest going into the wind. Well, we were going with the wind. We're like, fuck, they're gonna catch us, right? Like, we just, like, luckily, when the moment of takeoff, we were kind of like crosswind, but it's just the way I had to go to like swoop around. So I'm like, all right, I'll go some wide turns. And they actually let us get these super wide ass turns, so we never actually got cannon shots on us until I cut it real quick at the end, and we're facing into the wind and just full sails it down and just fucking hit it. But this whole time I'm going around an island too, right? And as I'm going around this island, I'm like, hey, Depp, do you want to go take their loot that we'd never finished getting? And he's like, hell yeah. So we just real quickly rush over, because our ship's faster going in the wind and shit. We like, and turning and maneuvering in general. We get over and we start taking the last of the loot that we didn't end up finish getting. And here they come around the island, and they go to cut it hard, like in between these rocks. And I can tell they're getting mad, right? Obviously, why would they take a dangerous maneuver? And we're like, shit, Depp grabs the last skull. I fucking drop the sails. And then as we're like trying to come, all right, I'm going to line you up some shots, Depp, I just see their ship. All of a sudden, the front of it go up in the air like this. I'm like, oh no. They ran into the rocks. I'm like, fuck this, Depp. Come back around. And we're gonna go shoot some more shots at them, right? Because we're like, hey, that's 3 holes in their ship. And we're coming around, all of a sudden this ship just scuttles, and we're like, oh, they scuttled their ship. And I'm like, just in case anyone's around, I pulled out my my little megaphone. I'm like, thanks for the loot, and watch out for that rocks, boys.
Did you do the thing that Nev does where when you lift up the megaphone, you also yell in Discord, like you're speaking through a megaphone in real life, so everybody in the Discord call, like their ears start to hurt?
I speak up a little bit, just a little bit.
Because Nev, I every once in a while you guys are playing Sea of Thieves, I'll join in, just kind of, it's just fun to like listen, and sometimes like you guys will stream it in Discord. And I know Nev talked about it the last time we were on, but the time where the guy was like, oh, like it's a woman, blah, blah, blah. And so Nev was like, "Oh yeah," and then like, so I was just sitting in the Discord call with you guys playing, and all of a sudden like Nev goes to like go yell at them, and she just, "Oh yeah, you think this is on now?" And she's like screaming in the megaphone. I'm like, Nev, you don't have to scream into the megaphone. But no, I think I actually downloaded Sea of Thieves again. I think I might play it with you guys sometimes, because
dude,
I feel like it's the ultimate.
Hop
It's
in
the
with
ultimate,
Depp,
like,
I'm telling you.
it's the ultimate, like, you can choose how your experience goes type of game, right? Like, if you want to, you can just kind of chill, just go collect shit, go turn it in, just have a calming time, whatever. Or, if you want to get into some shit, you can get into some shit. Like, I feel like it's one of the, it's like the perfect, like, do whatever you want. Like, it's the perfect sandbox, I would say, for like that style of just like,
Yeah.
just do whatever you want. Like it gives you all the tools. Go do whatever the fuck you want to do.
I do think it would be nice if they had like lesser PvP servers or some where you could opt into no PvP, but on the same hand that kind of makes the game in its own right. Because I do know a few people don't like it for that aspect, like Stoff. Like, me and him love playing it together, but the instant PvP shit starts happening, like, his anxiety gets going or something. It's just not for him. So, but on the same hand, it's like, if you didn't have that in the back of the mind, I kind of need to hurry up because someone might show up. Will it be as
no
fun?
Real, like threat.
Yeah, that because the monsters aren't really threatening, or you know what I mean? Like, because you could ultimately, if you had all the time in the world, just leash things infinitely and then, you know, do whatever. It just wouldn't be a problem. But then there's things like Depp and I went to do the fort, and it's like, yo, bells are ringing, cannons are firing off, like, it's noisy and you can hear that shit. The other people can, and like smoke's being lit in the air and shit. It's like, we gotta get this stuff going. Like, yeah, definitely fun. Another game, by the way, if anyone wants to play, especially into the patrons, we play that, especially in the Patreon channel, quite a bit. We do play these things with people who are non-patrons, and outside of that, it's just that's just a lot of times where we go to hang out. You know what I mean? Just FYI.
Yeah, give us your money.
Well, it's not like the whole give us your money thing. It's just,
I'm just kidding.
I mean, we do have like the channel.
Like
we do have a Sea of Thieves channel where it's limited to 4 people, so like no one beyond the crew can join. But it's like, if you wanna, it's Sea of Thieves is one of the things, like, you don't want to have comms too clustered. But it's like, I'm not opposed to someone hanging out. You know what I mean? But if you have a 5-man of smiters with a 4 pirate crew, you guys are just gonna be talking over each other. It's gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Hey, gank left. My ult's ready. You're like, Depp, I need cannons.
I need cannons on the port side. Fire! Yeah, shit like that.
Yeah.
I do gotta say, I did bring this up, and I'll be done with Sea of Thieves because I've been ranting, but I've been having fun. Sorry, everyone. It is nice that also Depp and I have like this firm understanding that I enjoy being on the helm, right? And that he is a much better cannoneer than I am, right? And so it's like, we just kind of know, unless, you know, we do trade it up every once in a while. We do just kind of know, like, hey, yo, Depp's going to be running cannons. I'm going to be on the helm. Like, we got the shit down. But on the same hands, like, when I call out, I need help with some sails as I'm on the helm, obviously it's because, like, I need to steer and shit, like, but I need sails with help. But if Depp's, like, down below, like, yo, I need help bucketing, it's like, all right, cool, I know that, like, I have to go down there and help him. Or, like, and both of us both know it's like, we just need, like, 10-15 seconds. Like, and, like, we got a good system down.
Yeah, everyone has.
And it's cool when Nev joins us too, because then we got the full crew right there, and then Nev likes to run the helm as well. So then it frees me up to do some stuff that I don't normally do. But then that turns into a lot of times of Fro, quit jumping the fuck off the ship.
That's what I do. Yeah, I do. The only thing I do in Sea of Thieves is I sit at the like, what's the front part called? Like the thing that like extends off of the front.
That has a name.
The whatever that thing is, I literally just go and sit at the very tip of that the whole time, and then I just do 360s and try to shoot skeletons on the islands while we drive by.
I actually, in that battle that we had, the brig and galleon sloop battle, I actually, because the other team was busting out the sniper rifles, and they actually got me with a few shots. I'm like, oh yeah, motherfuckers, you want to do that? We're going. And Depp's getting cannon shots, right? And I'm like, I perfectly lined up with the fucking captain or the helmsman from there. And I'm like, fuck you. I guess I'll pull out my sniper rifle, dude. I shoot the person. You can see when they get hit, right? And they like doing a little move around, couple jumps, right? And then they get back on the helm again. I'm like, nah, fuck you, shoot them. And same shit. And they're like moving around, and then they get back on that thing. And you can see they turn and they like pull out their gun and then like looking around. And I'm like, and at this time I finally reloaded. I'm like, nope. Pop, and I'm like reloading. I'm like, I don't know. And it kind of looked like there's some distance, right? I'm like, something raised up in the air. I'm like, oh shit, let me look at the scope, and I see the spirit being raised up. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, dropped her dumbass. That was great. Because then I'm like, they're down a person now. Let's go fucking charge them. Like, let's go.
It reminds me of
fun.
like Battlefield. I don't know if you ever played Battlefield, but like the sniping in there.
I never played much Battlefield, but I played Battlefront, and my my ex brother-in-law played a lot of Battlefield, so I do understand that's kind of like that, but less futuristic.
Yeah, where like I'm talking like when you'll snipe somebody and it's not always a one hit kill. You gotta get a headshot in Battlefield for that. But like,
Right.
let's say you hit him in like the leg or something, and like they realize they get hit, like, oh shit, and they like jump up and start running around. Like they do the same thing in Sea of Thieves. Like they do that, they run around, they jump around, they like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
That's the classic. I got hit and I don't know where from.
Yeah, that's like you can see the panic setting in. They're like, oh shit, oh fuck, oh fuck.
The best part is when the panic goes away and they're like, okay, no, never mind. That must have just been a fluke. And you're like, oh yeah, that's a fucking fluke, motherfucker.
That's a classic.
Watch me fluke again. Thing. But yeah, so that's been most of Fro's gaming week. Hasn't been a lot of Smite. I know. I'm sorry. I apologize. But Riggs,
you can't hear that, can you?
Hear what?
My roommate. They're playing. Have you ever heard that Bigfoot game? Where you and your friends just like go hunt like Bigfoot in the forest.
Are they Bigfoot calling?
They're fucking playing Bigfoot, and I can hear my roommate screaming his fucking life out over there. I'm like, Jesus, dude. I don't know if I might caught it, but if it did, I want to leave it in for the viewers.
I don't know whose week it is to edit, but we'll find out. I
don't know. But yeah, Smite this week. Let me tell you. It's been an interesting experience. So I actually have played a decent amount. Played a lot of Assassins this week, trying out some fun builds. I did a Thanatos solo game where I went Golden Blade Transcendence, right? And then I went Urchin, Witchblade, Oni Hunters, and then Lono's Mask.
Whoa. Start that back over.
What?
You were on Thanatos. Okay, yeah.
Thanatos solo, Golden Blade Rush.
Golden Blade.
Into Transcendence.
Okay. All right. I can see that. And that actually is not horrible. I see it.
Full tank. So I went Urchin after that, Witchblade, Oni Hunters, and then I went Lono's Mask last item.
Oni Hunters.
For the mitigation.
Okay. Did you keep the Golden Blade?
The game ended at that point. So yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna sell it for an upgraded starter. I was probably gonna get like Sigil or something.
Sigil, yeah. Sigil or Axe would be my thought.
But that was such a fun build because I was literally with the Lono's Mask and then like the mitigations from Onis, and I was tanky. Transcendence gives you enough power to like still be relevant. I literally just like dog walked the Zeus late game. Took 0 damage and just fucking just. I remember I was playing with Bright, and Bright was just giggling because like he just watching me like just chase the Zeus like way out of the fight. I'm just dog walking the Zeus all the way back to his Phoenix, and their fight's going on by the Fire Giant. And we just started giggling to each other. That was a funny one. And then last night, right? I went out, got home, and then I was like, I'll play some Smite. I'm not super tired. And I feel like we've all been here at some point where you get on a losing streak and you're like, all right, I gotta just win one game.
Oh, that's a bad mindset to be in, especially as a Smite player.
The competitiveness in me was like, I just want to win a single game, right? So I started playing. It was like probably 8:30, 9 o'clock my time, Pacific time. So I'm playing just a bunch of Conquest solo queuing. Take a loss, 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 take a loss. I took 10 losses in a row. And at this point, it's like 3 a.m, and I'm like, dude, I'm so tired, but I gotta get a win at this point. Like, this is ridiculous. I was like getting so mad. I was like, dude, because like every single game too, I don't want to be that like my teammates sucked, but I did go back and look at some of like the teammates I was matched with, and they were like level 50, level 40, and I was playing into full 5 stacks, which I guess it's 2 in the morning Pacific time. Like West Coast servers aren't as populated, so I mean, there's only so many people playing at that time. But it was an interesting experience because I was going like 18-9, 12-4, 14-6, and we're still losing. And we would get, it wasn't even like we would lose and like we would get stomped. It was like we would lose in so many different ways that it was like a new way of losing every time. It was pissing me off so bad. Like we would be dominating the early game, and then we would throw out a fire giant fight and lose the game, and then we would get stomped the next game, and then we would have it. It was a pretty even game, and then like one fight, like somebody would get picked, and then we'd lose the game. It was just like every possible way you could think of like losing a game in Conquest, it somehow happened every single time, and then it finally happened, and we almost lost this game too. I finally won the game, and I was like, thank God I can go to bed now. But I was playing Erlang. Erlang
Hold
Jungle.
up, I gotta ask. Do you feel better about winning that game?
Oh, dude, it felt so good.
Okay. Because
that
most
game,
of the
that was-
time, the worst part is the win doesn't feel good, and you're like, it just wasn't worth.
No, it felt so good. I went 20-3.
Okay,
As
all right. Okay.
As Erlang
Yup.
Jungle.
That's what you're like. Here's my keyboard. I'm fucking good night.
Yeah. Well, and the best part was for most of that game we were behind because I had a 1-13 Freya ADC that was getting soloed on cooldown by the Xbalanque. So it was basically me versus a Xbalanque who could kill each other first, and whoever killed each other, that team won the fight. Because we were basically I don't want to say we were like the only two, but we were majority of both of our team's damage. So it was
When
like,
the two hard carries, you know what I mean?
yeah, it was
Two
like
people
if
carrying the team.
whoever got to the first, like if I got to him first, he died. If he was like, if they were running at us, he got to me first, I died. But yeah, no, it was pretty back and forth. And then I remember I called for a fire giant. Like they were like 4 or 5 man ganked our Freya in dual lane, and it was just me and I had a Bakasura solo. And I was like, yo, come with me to fire. I had the upgraded mannequins at that point, and we literally just me and him did fire giant in probably like 5 seconds. It was insane. And then after that we got all the towers, and then so it was a pretty satisfying victory to close out the night. I think I ended up going to bed at like 4:30 in the morning. So
I wasn't tired. I was gonna do one more, but
I couldn't, dude. It was just one of those times I was like, dude, I can't. I gotta win one for my mental at this point. I was like, it was ridiculous.
That's terrible.
And
That's terrible.
So I finally got the dub, went to bed. And then yeah. I played a slash this morning before we recorded, just for funsies, and I've seen people go leader's cowl. The upgrade, it's like the upgrade nobody buys to hunter's cowl.
Mm-hmm.
The one that gives you like power and you have to be near people and shit. I feel like that item's got to be good, right?
You say nobody buys it. I buy it constantly.
I feel like I never see anybody buy that. Granted, I don't see a lot of people buy cowls, so that's probably why. But like, that item's got to be good, right?
See, here's the thing. I play 2 game modes primarily: slash and assault.
Yeah.
In assault, when are you not buying ally?
That's fair, yeah.
When everybody's dead, right? What do you need to do when everybody's dead and you're the only one alive? Fucking run. So I find it useful, and if you're buying ally, well, then you just you have the attack speed. You have it, and you just will have it. And then slash, kind of the same thing, because not very often do I go split push, and if I'm on someone who I would go split push on, I'm probably not buying cowl, or I'm not buying this one.
Yeah. I think because I've some of the rumbling ADC players are oh, our class got nerfed so much. So now it's like they're all trying to find a new build because I think Devo's going to get nerfed pretty decently. So I feel like I try to pay attention around like the patch times. I try to like watch some pro streams and kind of just see what they're experimenting with, and just kind of like I'm not saying like that's gonna be like the new build or whatever, but like I've seen a lot of them kind of experimenting with this. Like you go Hunter Cowl into Trans into Atalantas, and that gives you between Cowl and Atalantas you get some lifesteal. Once you upgrade Cowl, you'll get more lifesteal, and then you kind of just go like Silver Branch crit after that, or Kins maybe. Um, that's what I did. I was playing Artemis, and I like that one a lot. I like the Cowl into Trans into Atalantas. I feel like you get a little bit of everything. Just out of those three, you get some lifesteal, some attack speed, a good amount of power. You get some crit, which is doesn't have that much crit on it, but it's still some decent attack speed. Like I feel like it's a pretty good top 3 items if you're gonna be playing ADCs right now.
All right. Controversial statement, but I think ADC builds should have to have like 2 to 3 items with a certain stat for it to feel like they have a significant amount of that stat. Like, you shouldn't be able to have Devos as a solo lifesteal item and feel like you have sufficient lifesteal. You should feel like you have some, but not sufficient. That's like sufficient enough to be like, I can stay out and fight long time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what you get with this, because you get the upgraded Cowl in the Atalantas. It gives you like 35%, which is about what Devos had.
Yeah, but that's also upgraded Cowl. We're talking late game, so it's less of an issue. It's kind of like a lot of hunters will feel like, yeah, we're getting nerfed because, oh, well, you can't go Devos, Asi, and return whenever you feel like, or just because you're out of mana. Not because you finally ran out of HP and haven't been fighting this whole fucking time. Or like you haven't been fighting this whole time, I should say. Same with attack speed. I mean, there's a lot of hunters where it's like, you just pick up this 1, maybe 2 attack speed items and you have plenty. Like Cupid, for instance, and I love Cupid, but you don't buy more than 2 attack speed items on Cupid, or you risk potentially overcapping. Think about that.
Silver Branch, dude.
I mean, yeah, that part of the reason why I do go Silver Branch on Cupid.
Silver Branch, I feel like
plus it's Pen, and Cupid loves Pen. Yeah, it's actually sleeper good on him, but it's certain things. And granted, he does have a built-in stem, but it's a permanent stem too. And so I guess having a stem's a little disingenuous, because they should feel like they get real close to overcapping with a stem, especially a stronger one like Rama's. But maybe look at someone like Chiron, where you can literally just have Kins, Asi, and then that's all you need, right? It's like, well, yeah, Hunter, I guess. Cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. Little, but how do you fix it though? Because do you require hunters to build 4 attack speed items to have any attack speed at all? I don't know. But I think lifesteal is the one where it's very noticeable, and we've brought this up a few times already, actually. Just not specifically calling out that stat.
Should just put a class restriction on hunters and just say that they do 30% less damage until they hit level 20. No, I'm just kidding. But I think that'd be funny. I just don't like hunters right now. So that's me. That's me as a tank player majority of the time. That's me bitching about hunters, just like they bitch about tank players all the time.
I think part of the problem with hunters is no matter what, almost always, right? There has been an exception, but no matter what, they are never the worst. Ever. They might not be the
they always
best.
Get to a point.
Yeah, they are never the worst. Because even when hunters are in bad spot, usually it's like, okay, so you're like, what, the 3rd best class? Like, just because warriors and guardians are in front of you right now? Like, and even then it's like, well, this is a mage patch. Here's hunters right over their shoulder. Like, yeah, we're ready to... Who kills the mages in 2 hits? Oh, that's us. Like, it's never like... And it has happened, but it's rarely is it ever the like hunters are the objectively worst class in the game.
No, yeah, I don't think it's ever like that. I also do want to piggyback off that what you mentioned, mages. I don't know if it's happened to you a lot, but it's been happening to me a lot where especially before the bonus patch where it was pretty much like people would play hunters and solo and all the time. I would still recommend that you try to play a mage if you're gonna be playing Conquest. I would not like it doesn't I'm not saying you gotta play it mid, you maybe play it somewhere else. But I've been seeing a lot of teams run like people I've gone against that they've run like a lot of just like double hunter and they don't have a mage, they have like a guardian and solo or something. And as good as that is, you do start to miss the AoE damage of a mage. Like you don't realize it until you don't have it, and you're like, wow, we're not really doing that much damage because like a hunter's really only hitting one person at a
Or you'll
time. So
get
it's like
a pick. But it's like, cool, we got a pick,
yeah,
but they got 2 to 3 picks in return.
like if a big team fight breaks out, like your hunter's only hitting probably one person at a time, unless they're like Rama and they're maybe hitting, they're going through people, but like they're only really hitting one person. So like and then let's say like the other team has a mage, or let's say they have like a Thoth and they're just wanting through the entire team, and meanwhile your hunter's hitting like their tank, like you're gonna lose that fight. And I feel like people are kind of falling into the trap right now, picking hunters everywhere, and then losing because they don't have AOE damage. We've seen
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, let's
Seen that a little bit in
let's
SPL and stuff.
expand on that a little bit more here. Especially in the metas we've been having lately, where it's been, let's just keep picking this one class because they're good. Like, each class does theoretically have its own role, right? And let's not forget that's like you were saying with the mages, they are the ones who're supposed to bring the AoE. So when you choose teams without mages, you sacrifice a lot of the AoE. And I bring this up because a lot of things that's also been sacrificed a lot lately is your frontliners. People will either go without a support or solo, guardian, warrior, whatever you want to call it. It varies, right? Your guardians, they are your heavy CC, usually your peelers, your setup of some sort, right? If you fucking go without one of them, your team's gonna be lacking a lot of CC. Just how it is, generally. Your guard or your warriors, they are usually your heavy divers, or people who heavily punish people who dive. So if you don't have one of them and you decide, fuck it, I want 2 hunters instead, you're going to be missing a lot of your dive potential, dive setup, things like that. Your initiation, counter initiation. Your assassins, they're meant to pick off mages. What they're for. They take out the enemy AoE, so they're lacking it. They can do it to the enemy ADCs as well. Late game, not as well, because they usually will get killed by them instead.
Mages usually, but I'd say warriors are more suited to hunters. Assassins are more suited to mages.
Right. But they fill very similar roles as the warrior does there, just more geared towards the mage, and with higher mobility to kind of maneuver themselves and position themselves for the fights better, especially for like coming around and off to the side. So if you don't have one of them, that's what you're sacrificing. Your hunters, they are your constant DPS. They are your structure push and your tank killers. I don't know why the fuck you wouldn't pick them right now, but I don't actually know why you wouldn't ever pick them. In general, they're, like I said earlier, never not good. They always sit at the cusp of average at their worst. But yeah, they are your tank killers, structure killers, objective killers. If you don't fucking pick one of them, you better figure out how to fucking take out the other shit.
Yeah, I mean that's why like the standard comp is one of each class, because they all have a role they fill. So if you're gonna pick, let's say 2 of one class, then you just have to know what you're losing out on and know what you're gaining from that. Like if you play an assassin solo, you have more damage in solo. You're not gonna be able to just full on like dive and just tank all the shit like you normally can, but you'll be able to do a lot more damage when you dive. So it's kind of like, or if you're gonna like the reason I'm bringing it up is because I mean, it's a little bit old news at this point, but the Smite Masters tournament, it was a couple weeks ago, but that's pretty much all we saw was hunters and solo. So you had 3 damage dealers, and then some teams did different things in jungle, but usually it was like another damage dealer, whether it was like a Poseidon or like an assassin or something. So you really only had a guardian as their support front line, and like you're saying, you only have the one frontliner, and you saw that a lot in the tournament where it was like if either support got picked for any reason, the other team, the team that lost their support, could not engage at all because they just didn't have one. Like you have 3 hunters and like a mage. Who's initiating that fight?
And a lot
Nobody.
of times you're stuck with who's going to counter initiate. So if the fight starts, the only response is run or
Yeah.
disengage, not counter initiate. And I think another one to bring it up is it happens every couple years. This comp will always be good whenever tanks are tanky and hunters are strong, right? The triple guardian, double hunter strat, right? And see, this is an example of why what we were just talking about is a bit of a guideline. Because when they do the triple guardian, double hunter, right? If you have to pay very careful attention to who they're picking in those, because gods can flex to fill different roles, right? Like different characters can flex to fill different positions. A lot of times you'll see Ymir's, Xing Chen's, Athena's. What's the fucking the other dude I'm totally drawing a blank on? Geb, right? You'll see a lot of those come out in those metas, because what do those guys bring along with the stuff I mentioned that Guardians typically bring? AoE. Damage. Geb does some damage. Like, Xing Shen can do some damage. Like, then like I said, so they will flex out of what their normal role is capable of doing to fill those other spots. So that's why when you see like the SBL teams picking something like that, and it's like, well, hold up, on bot G, they said you want one of each because it fills all these niche roles. They filled them. They filled all 5 of those niche roles just with the 2, though, right? With the 2 classes.
Yeah.
And
And one of each is just a guideline.
And it's just a guideline. And you also have to look at when you go to emulate a lot of these pro teams and pro strats, right? They have very specific goals in mind. Like, for instance, when we were doing the comp league, we practiced a certain team comp that was all about having global ults and high mobility. The only time that ever succeeds is if you utilize that, right? If we didn't utilize the fact that half our team could travel half the map, our team really wasn't that strong. But if we like super ganked and like we pushed our one strength, like we were able to do it. But that was it. If we didn't, our team fell apart. And a lot of comps kind of are like that when they have specific goals. Another one is like if you see a Fafnir being picked, you can almost go and guarantee that they're picking probably an AA focused team of some sort, or they're looking to kill structures and objectives. Right? Riggs is laughing.
I'm laughing because that was my favorite. I don't know if you remember the beginning of the SPL split, like right at the beginning of phase 1 when they had like that weird like kickoff tournament that didn't matter for anything, so the teams didn't try, and they were like, we're hiding all these strats, and it was like I get that, but at the same time, like you said, if you pick a Fafnir, the team, they instantly know what you're doing. You're not hiding anything anymore. It's like, oh shit, they're gonna go to the Gold Fury. Oh fuck, I didn't see that coming.
like there's certain things like that.
That's why I'm just laughing about it. Yeah, and like what you're saying too, like the comp, like why they pick it is like a lot of like at Masters when they were picking Hunter solos, a lot of the time we saw them threaten the team that had the Hunter and solo. We saw a lot of more like plays around Pyro because you didn't have to rotate your ADC all the way over to Pyro if you wanted to play around it. You could just have your solo laner just rotate to it because they're a Hunter and they can kill it fast now. So it's like there was a lot of play around Pyro.
Right. And there's more than just Hunter strong, pick an extra Hunter. There's more than goes into it on the pro level. I mean, you can get away with some of this shit in your gold level games. That's true. You also can get punished like a motherfucker for it in your gold level games.
That's why I'm bringing it up too, is because like what gets played in the SPL trickles down to casuals and stuff, and that's why I have been trying to play ranked more, and I've seen that a lot in ranked where people like I literally just had a game this morning of ranked where it was it was an Olorun and a Soul, so I mean you call it 4 hunters kind of, but
yeah,
it was 4 hunters and a Geb, and like they really didn't have AoE. We still lost the game, but they didn't really have AoE. They kind of just kept on picking people, which is what you kind of expect. You just kill whoever's in front of you as that team.
Yeah, Geb knocks them up or ults them, and then 4, yeah. But hold up, what was your
they're
team
all
comp?
auto.
Did you have two
We had a
support or two frontliners at all?
yeah, we had like a standard team. We had a Loki, Morgan, Bologna, Huyi, Kepri. So not, I mean, it's not like a great team, but it's like
yeah, you
a one
also
of
didn't have any.
each.
See, you also didn't have any AOE, right? So
Yeah.
both teams lacked the AOE. Which team's got the better DPS though? So
Yeah, we had double Loki. That was pretty much it.
yeah, that's unfortunate.
But yeah, I mean that's the only reason I'm saying is because like I've played games where I'm on that team that has the standard comp against the 400 comp, and we just dog walk them, and it's because like for that reason, like if you can optimize your build for them, and they don't have any AOE to hit anybody else but you. So if you're like if you have like a Midgard, a Witchblade, I mean they don't stack, but like you're still super tanky. You can get like a Nemean as well, which is kind of underbought right now, I think. You can optimize for anti-attack speed, and they don't have any AOE to threaten you, so you just
You know what's
Just run.
actually always kind of been hilarious to me is, do you know what a really strong team comp in Smite is, and very versatile team comp in Smite is? Ironically, and you'll catch on. Nope. Ymir, Ra, Neith, Thor. And I totally forget who the last. Or yeah, not Thor.
I think it's
I'm drawing a
Guan
blank.
Yu,
Yeah,
isn't
Guan
it?
Yu. There we go. I was drawing a
Or
blank
is it
on the
Guan?
class. No, it's Guan Yu. It's Guan Yu. I was drawing a blank
it
on the
Guan?
class. I forgot. And I'm like, and ironically, it's because it just has everything that we've been talking about, and an abundance of all of it, and it's just very, very versatile.
Good CC, area denial, some kind of globals, healing, good damage.
Two globals. Yeah, semi-global ult and a global ult with Neith and Thor. Like, yeah, sorry, that's just random
We
thought.
should do that. We would have to get Nev to play Conquest, but I say we should do that. We should get the host and like one other person, and we should just do the tutorial gods Conquest.
Just default ass skins too.
Default skins too, yeah.
Default loading frames.
Everything default. Just run it down.
I'm sorry, like I
Maybe
said,
Nev
that was
will
just
play it.
literally a
Maybe
random
Nev-
thought that popped into my head. It's like, now that I think about it, they actually, that is one thing that I have to give the devs. They chose really good default, like, free gods to hand out. For
Maybe Nev will come out of
starting
retirement
gods.
for that.
I feel like Guan's passive is a little tricky for newer players. Just because there's certain aspects about it that you don't quite pick up on.
Yeah, but you don't even need to be paying attention if you don't know how to play. You just slam buttons and you'll just be like, oh, I'm slowing him longer than I did before. Oh,
They won't even
doing
notice.
more damage
It's
now.
probably
Cool.
the heal. They're like, this heal sucks.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden
wow,
it's like, well,
I healed more.
They won't notice that. They'll just notice the heal sucking.
Yeah, this heal sucks. Oh, I got healed more than I did last time. That's cool. Just face roll your keyboard. You're fine.
That's fair. Anyways, I do believe
that's
you typed
games.
up. I asked you to type up show notes, dude. I haven't even fucking looked at what you typed. Not yet.
I did
fucking once.
I did Blood Bowl. Oh, WWE. We didn't talk about WWE. I did the episode 2. I don't know what to call it because I don't know, like I don't have a schedule for it. I just kind of do it when I feel like doing it. But second episode of Bot G Wrestling. I thought it was pretty good. It turned into basically, will Rick ever win a match? And the answer was no. I'm pretty sure he's like 0 for 6 now.
You need to have a better
It's
timing
bad.
with that so I can join you or at least watch. Because I watched part of it, but I had to go.
It was bad. It turned it because Rick showed up. I had a match where it was Bryce. I think. Oh, it was Rick versus Nev, and then Rick showed up, and then he lost the match to Nev, and then Rick was talking shit, and he was like, "This is rigged. I want to check my overall and make sure it's the same." So I showed him it was the same, and then he wanted a rematch, and he lost again. And then I was like, all right, let's see. Let's just see if Rick can win a match. And so he lost, I think, to he fought Backlash, which, by the way, I made the patrons. I got a request to make another one, so I'll do that soon. But yeah, it was the patron episode. So the patrons that sent me a message saying, "Hey, I want to be in it. This was your guys' episode." I believe Enbright won the championship, the Patreon championship.
Did you download the VOD, by the way, and upload that to the drive so I can put it on the YouTube?
I did for the first episode. I didn't do it for the next one.
I don't know if I'm gonna put it. Should I put it on the Bot G YouTube or should I put it on the Bunch of Terrible Players?
I'm care.
Torn. Because that's
Do
where I
whatever
kind of
you
put a
wanna
lot
do
of our
with
other stuff.
But yeah, I did it for the first episode. But yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, this is spoilers. Who cares? Bright won. I'm like 99% sure. I actually don't remember, but yeah. And then there's a cameo from Dr. Disrespect in there because Rick wanted to fight Dr. Disrespect, so I went and downloaded one, and guess what? He lost to Dr. Disrespect, even though his overall was lower than Rick's. Because I didn't change it, I just downloaded the character, and the person who made him like an 85 or whatever, so he was a couple points worse than Rick, and he still beat Rick. So I don't know what else I can do at this point. I mean, I can only do so much to help him. But yeah, so I don't know when the next one I'll do is, but try to do it soon. I enjoy doing it. I think it's fun to do. So
Once again,
Yeah.
if you're one of the patrons and want to be turned into a WWE character to be entered in Riggs' little wrestling matches, let them know.
yeah, just send me a DM and just what I would ask is send me a DM and include a picture if you're comfortable with that of what you would want to look like. If not, just do like I want to like do like just give me some type of inspiration for a character I can make, and
Give them something to
just
work
know
with
that-
for a custom character.
Yeah,
That's
and
it.
just know that I'm not a professional, so it might not look perfect, but you know, I
You
feel
want
like
to
the
be
ones
like,
I've made
hey,
haven't
make me
that
look
bad.
like a generic idiot. We'll make you look just like
Yeah.
Bryce. No problem.
I did what you recommended for Backlash. That picture you sent, I don't know if you remember it, but it was like the dude in the Canadian shit.
Oh, that's a picture that Sadon's wife drew of Backlash, so we could use it for different YouTube thumbnails. Because him and I we were also doing our Halo streams at the time, which Backlash and I need to get back into that, but he's been busy. So I had like an avatar of him, or not an
Well,
avatar,
then, yeah, I
a
used that.
picture to use of him.
I use that for inspiration. He's Captain Canada.
Yeah, no,
He
you
comes
really
out-
should use that for inspiration because that was straight up was drawn. Like, here's a picture of Backlash. Here's a picture of him in that hat. Make it look more Canadian and include this logo, and that's the result. Sadon's
There's a
wife,
ton of
actually,
Canadian stuff in
pretty
there.
good artist.
Yeah, shout out. My favorite part too is for Backlash. I guess in that WWE game they don't like Canadians. I don't know, but whenever you go to pick your entrance music, they have a bunch of like generic ones, and they usually have one that's like a theme of some kind for each country or for like some of the more like prevalent countries in wrestling. So they have ones for like Japan and like China and America and all that.
Not
They
Canada.
don't have they don't have like a Canadian theme at all. So I gave them the US president theme, which I think is very fitting.
It's very fitting because Backlash will be the one to tell you. Well, he'll be one of the first to tell you that they have burned down the White House.
Yep. So yeah, I don't know. I might try to get a schedule at some point for that, but we'll see. So what else? We have the community corner.
The community corner. Oh boy.
It was
I feel like we should have known to throw some like caveats and better explanations on here than we did. But we didn't.
Yeah, it did turn into an interesting experience to read, I'll be honest. So the community corner was you are suddenly single and have to move in with a smite god. Who is your new roommate? And I know you, Fro, it was a topic of discussion that just because you are newly single and you are living with a roommate, it does not mean you are fucking this roommate. But
Yep.
It was more so like a roommate experience. Like, Ymir, why the fuck is everything covered in ice? You know what I mean? Not like a, hey, Ymir, bend over, you know?
Yeah, see,
But
I think, okay, so this question was not worded or phrased by the hosts. It was one presented to us to be asked, right? During our 200th Ask Me Anything episode. And so we figured, hey, we'll have you guys answer it along with us. Now that I think about it, pretty unfortunate that we're going to answer it on the episode that you're on, because no one gives a fuck about you, Riggs. You weren't there for the first 200. And that it's half the hosts aren't here in general. It's very unfortunate. Sorry, Sass. I guess at Nev and Depp and yell at them. Or ask them.
yeah, I think. By the way, Nev's not here. Dev's not here.
Oh, fuck. Good job, Riggs. Good job.
Nev, I think, has allergies or something. You know, sneezing, can't talk apparently. And then Depp is just gone.
Fishing.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I made that up. He could be.
Shit or something, I don't
So
know.
Foxy Amy responding with suddenly ? Depp responded to that with suddenly ! Again, I think the implication of the question overall was supposed to be like, hey, you were unexpectedly in a situation where you have to get a apartment to share or something and have a roommate. It's not how the question really came off, but I believe that's how it was supposed to be. So Foxy Eamonly with the question marks definitely understood. Mayor Fennec said, that's hard.
There's some really good answers to the question.
The Big Red coming in saying, I think Ymir would be pretty cool. And he got the Doge laugh as a response. And I think that's appropriate.
I get it.
I do appreciate the pun. Hypnos coming in saying, Zeus, say what you want about lore. That man pulls, and I feel like he'd be a great wingman. Plus, who'd be beating me at intramural sports when I have the king of Olympus on my team? That's very fair. This man's like, man, I'm single. I'm going to be hitting the sports.
We're gonna hit the sports bar. I'm going to be the king of the pool table.
Oh, no shit. He's hitting the sports bar. Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's a good point. That's where Hypnos is going.
Dude.
Batman 7839 Medusa, so she can turn me to stone. Now I'm perma-stoned. It's always nice when your roommate will get you stoned. I can definitely confirm that. Been on both ends.
Do you think she charges for it too, or no? Or is she just like, hey, like, just look at me real quick?
I mean, most roommate situations, depending, unless your roommate's like an absolute bum, it's kind of like, I'll burn you down today, you burn me down tomorrow. Like, it's give and take usually. I mean, if a good roommate, I assume. I'm also... Okay, Batman. He then said, also, I'm now happy because I have a female living with me. Kind of. Hashtag forever alone. Just because your roommate's female does not mean you're in a relationship at all. Period. Fellas, I need y'all to understand this. I understand some of y'all are young, right? But so are my daughters. So I want y'all to understand this right now. Okay? Your roommate, it's not someone you're in a relationship with. And if they are, it's not your roommate. That's your girlfriend or boyfriend or they friend or non-friend. By the way, those are the 4 terms I've settled with. I feel like that's pretty appropriate. Girlfriend, boyfriend, they friend, non-friend.
I like non-friend because it makes it sound like they're not your friend. Like, I don't know who the fuck this person is. They're just living with me.
I mean, it could be NB. I don't know. They can go with partner. I know a lot of people go with partner now, but it's what I went with my child, and they're okay with that, so I'm going with it. So, Mr. Man coming in, saying, the Morgan, so she can turn into Jennifer Lawrence. I need you to explain to me the benefit of having Jennifer Lawrence as your roommate. He also had the second half of his response deleted. just because a female is your roommate. Moving on. Necros. Bakasura, so he can consume me and end my suffering. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
He does have a big mouth.
And then Batman said, Necros, you good boy? Or bro? Sorry. Good looking out, Batman. Good looking out. No troll. Good looking out. We got Bright. Wait. Is that Bright? He changed his name. Yeah, okay. He changed his name to the WWE Patreon champion. I'm like, hold up. We have a champion? We have Bright saying, Hercules, I need a bro around who helped me go to the gym. He seems like just the guy to help me hit the weights. Thank you, Bright, for understanding the assignment, first and foremost. Secondly, yeah, that's pretty good. That's a good one.
So he's specifically talking about Hercules in the Speedo skin, right?
I mean, I feel like Hercules in almost any skin's like, yo, we going to the gym, right?
You think he's one of those guys?
It just depends on the skin where the gym's at. You know what I mean?
That's fair, yeah.
Because like,
you think he's one of those guys at the gym who like he's like going there with his buddy. He's like, hey, I'm gonna get you into working out, right? We're gonna start with 1,000 pounds deadlift, right? And you're gonna try and do this. And then whenever you can't do it, he's like, oh, you can't keep up with me? What the heck, man?
That's I feel like the beach one. That's the beach skin, right?
That was my dad when we first started lifting back when I was younger. My dad used to be a bodybuilder, and he's like, all right, you want to get to the gym? I was like 13. He's like, all right, you want to start going to the gym? I was like, yeah, sure. And he'd load up the bench with like 500 pounds, and he's like, all right. I'm like, that's like 4 times my fucking weight. Anyways, yeah.
It's like, Dad.
I'm like, dude, I'm not you.
Dad. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Xander Dog. Arachne, so I can get over my fear of spiders. Fair, but
would
no.
That help you? I feel like that would terrify me.
I mean, exposure is a way to get over some phobias. But usually it's like, you know, what's the word? Not guided.
Like controlled.
Supervised. Controlled. Yeah. Not a spider-human hybrid.
Just living with you.
Not. No. Just you do you, but no, I would not. Like, I would hard no. Sasquatch, the asker of the question, saying, Donzaburo, we're gonna homebrew and make our own still. Look for our stuff in corner liquor stores soon. BF and Coon moonshine for every occasion. He's a Tanuki, but that's fair. That's fair. I feel like to sell it in America, sometimes you got to make those little adjustments, right? That's fair. They're going to be making some wine. Oh, he says moonshine. Hold up. Are you making moonshine or wine? Because, like, I assume Donzaburo, that's sake, which is rice wine. Just making your rice wine is totally different from making your moonshine.
Well, I mean, maybe it's just alcohol in general. Maybe there's become fucking
Riggs. Oh my god, I feel like I'm gonna call Nev just to get back up on this question. I'll get fucking Depp in here. Where's Depp with his wine tour? Alcohol in general?
Maybe they're just making alcohol, dude.
They're just making alcohol. Just making alcohol.
Yeah, dude, you get the packet, you pour it in the water, you stir it a little bit, and you got beer. And then if you got the wine, you get the red packet, and you put it in there, the water, and you stir it a little bit.
I'm gonna let y'all feel free to @ Riggs yourself if you enjoy or know at all how any of that works.
I know how it works. I'm just fucking with you guys, just that way you don't come at me. Actually,
At Riggs, he
thinking
has no
I'm-
fucking clue. Please explain to him
Actually, I'm not that
meticulously,
much of an idiot.
meticulously the difference here.
I know there's like hops and shit. Hops and Shaw.
Well, I mean, hops. Oh, hops isn't needed. That's only for certain beers.
That's for like beer, yeah.
Well, no, it's only for certain beers.
Like IPAs.
Well,
yeah.
a pale ale, because IPA is an Indian pale ale because it's the pale ale that's sat in the barrel longer and got to ferment a little longer. That's why it's hoppier tasting. But yeah.
So they added
That's
they
the
added
only
more
difference between an
packets of
IPA
flavoring.
and a pale ale or PA is just the sitting time and certain stages. Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah,
they
they had more flavor packets to the water for those ones.
No, it's the same actually. Just it sits longer and certain.
So they just don't stir
Fuck
it.
out of here. I mean, kind of, yeah. Well, because it did a little. Like, yeah. Moving on, Uber Dark Skull, Nemesis or Terra, that ass. But in all seriousness, Kronos or Giannis going through space and time dimension would be sick. So, got him, but coming in with some really good answers. And existentially, I don't know how I'd handle that. Like, we all always talk about, like, going through space and time would be really cool.
I think it would be pretty sick. I think I would definitely use it to my advantage. I would go in the past, and that way I could be the smartest person in whatever time area I'm in.
Except you probably wouldn't be.
Oh, I would be so smart. I could
Okay.
tell them how things work. I'm like, bro, just wait till you see fucking electric cars. They're like, what's a car? I'm like, I know, dude. Just wait.
Well, here's the thing, though, right? And this is part of, like, the existentialism, right? So, smart and intelligence is all a little bit relative to the people around you. So, if you go far
gonna think
back
I'm a
enough,
witch.
right? Or they just won't believe you. Or you'll go back far enough and that, like, or if someone does try to believe you, you have to try to prove this stuff. But how do you, like, prove
Well,
it
that's why
if
I'm
you don't have
imagining
the
like a Back to
materials
the
around?
Future. I imagine like a Back to the Future where I get to keep I get to take the car with me. You know what I mean? Through time, and now I can just show them, be like, yeah, it's right there.
Oh, so you're taking the car.
Yeah, I have a time traveling Prius.
Okay. Does this Prius have, like, Wi-Fi and shit so you can, like, show them videos
Yeah,
and
dude,
everything?
It's got everything, dude.
Got everything. All right. Well, then I guess it's got a little bit less of a problem until you get shot and they steal your Prius. But
Then I show them YouTube, bro. I'm like, yo, check this out. You can watch fucking cats fighting right now on demand at any point. You can watch dog videos all day, dude.
hold up. Have you seen any of the cat fighting with the lightsaber edits?
No.
Go ahead and end the show, Riggs. I'm gonna be searching. I'll show you.
Well, we do have our thank yous.
You do that. I'm
Is that-
searching cat lightsaber videos.
Where do you have those saved?
They're pinned in the fucking. I'll just do it. God damn it, Riggs. Can't you do anything around here? All right.
Patron?
Thank you to Sadons for all of our wonderful thumbnails when you get back from Romania. Or when your time frees up a little bit. He's just been busier than expected. But thank you for the ones that you have done and the ones that I know you will be doing in the future. Thank you to Raijin Cajun. Enjoy that, Dep. For all of the arc that you have done for us throughout the years. Tip your artist, hire him, his commissions are open. And thank you to our wonderful patrons, Ariel Steel, Asbestos Dog, Weatherman, Keith, Jade Flagging, Baseball, Griff, Danny, Bombi, Caveman, Neo, Coffin Monkey, CDR Litz, Gilly, Snorlax, Weatherman, Adios, Sir Ember, KG, Broho, Famous Freak, Stoffmeister, Backlash, Sadons, Dr. Godfucker, Lantern, Reese, Warlord Yo, Batman. Did I say Batman? It's Bats Kid. Fuck, I was doing so well. Echo Dunk Doc, Necro, Otter Joe, Riggs, Dracon, Glen Wiggle, Granite Boys, Camel Hoss, Void vs. Void, Enbright, Scion Gemini, Batman this time for real, Sandman, Aquasoft, Kilowatt Man, I'm a hater. Mr. Man, Colorado, and the Big Red.
You were doing so good until like
then
halfway through.
And then I just stopped. The cat lightsaber fights just grabbed a hold of me.
I just slammed my elbow so hard on my desk.
Was it funny?
Kind of, yeah. Ooh, that hurt. Is that it?
Goodbye.
Bye.
Cat lightsaber fights for the win.
I have stopped recording.